Hello students, welcome. In this video we are going to talk about 5 marks question from the chapter The French Revolution. French Revolution, as you know, is a very important chapter in history. Questions ranging from 1 mark, 3 mark and 5 mark have been regularly asked in the examinations. The questions that you are going to learn have been thoroughly researched, and I have found that these are the questions which are repeatedly asked. The question form may vary, but the topic remains the same. So these questions which you are going to study are pretty important. So let us go on and learn these questions and answers. French Revolution. Important 5 mark questions. Question number 1. The 18th century France witnessed the emergence of the middle class. Who were they and what were the ideas? In this question, we will talk about the emergence of a new middle class and the new ideas which were brought about by them, and these ideas resulted in the French Revolution. In the 18th century, middle class was a social group who earned their wealth through an expanding overseas trade and from the manufacture of goods such as woolen and silk textile. In addition to merchants and manufacturers, it also included lawyers and administrative officials. They were well educated and they believed that no group in society should be privileged by birth. A person's social position must depend on his merit. A society must be based on freedom and equal laws and opportunities for all. This idea was maintained by John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and Montesquieu. Question number 2. What were the factors responsible for the outbreak of French Revolution? In this question, we will talk about important factors which are responsible for the French Revolution. Following are some of the factors responsible for the outbreak of revolution in France. The war with Britain for an independent America. France was helping America to get independence from Britain by providing them with a lot of money. This war led to mounting debt on the French monarchy. This necessitated imposition of new taxes on the public. Privileges based on birth. People got privileges and position based on the lineage and not by the merit. This led to resentment among common people. Concentration of power among the privileged. People belonging to the first and second estate had all the power and the money. Masses were at the mercy of this privileged class. Continued. Subsistence crisis. Rising population and less grain production resulted in demand-supply gap of bread, which was the staple diet. Wages did not keep pace with rising prices. It was becoming difficult for people to survive. Growing middle class. Because of the increased overseas trade, a new class emerged. This class was wealthy not because of birth but because of its ability to utilize opportunities. People of the middle class started to protest for an end to privileges based on lineage. Certain thinkers of the period spread awareness through various media available at that time. Some from the privileged classes also advocated the switch to democracy. So finally, there was a revolution in France. These are the important factors which led to the French Revolution. Next question. Question number 3. How did the fall of Bastille prison become the immediate cause of French Revolution? Well students, this is another question which you will have to learn, as it has been asked several times. Answer. On the morning of the 14th July 1789, the city of Paris was in a state of alarm. The king ordered his troops to move into the city. Rumors spread that he would soon order the army to open fire upon the citizens. Some 7,000 men and women gathered in front of the town hall and decided to form a people's militia. A group of several hundred people marched towards the eastern part of the city and stormed the fortress prison, the Bastille. In the armed fight, the commander of Bastille was killed and prisoners released. Since the Bastille stood for the despotic power of king, it led people towards the success of the French Revolution. Question number 4. Who was Napoleon Bonaparte? What reforms did he introduce in France? This question has been asked a number of times, even in the recent question paper. Dear students, you will have to be well prepared with this question. Napoleon Bonaparte was a great French general who won many battles for France. In 1804, Napoleon Bonaparte crowned himself as the Emperor of France. He incorporated many revolutionary principles. First one is, to improve administration, he incorporated many revolutionary principles which made the whole system more rational and efficient. His Civil Code of 1804, known as the Napoleonic Code, did away all the privileges based on birth, established equality before the law, and secured the right to private property. Continued, he introduced a uniform system of weights and measures provided by the decimal system. Initially, many believed Napoleon as a liberator who would bring freedom for the people. Many of his reforms were exported to the regions under French control. These left a long-lasting effect on the society. Question number 5. Who was Maximilian Robespierre and why is his period known as Reign of Terror? This is one question which you can definitely expect and has been asked in a number of ways, but this one is usually considered when they are framing a question paper. So dear students, please be prepared with this question thoroughly. Maximilian Robespierre was the leader of Jacobins Club, which led a successful revolt and came to power. The period from 1793 to 1794 is known as Reign of Terror. Robespierre followed a policy of severe control and punishment. All those whom he saw as being enemies of the Republic, ex-nobles and clergy, members of other political parties, even members of his own party who did not agree with his methods were arrested, imprisoned, and then tried by a revolutionary tribunal. Continued. If the court found them guilty, they were guillotined. Robespierre's government issued laws placing a maximum ceiling on wages and prices. Meat and bread were rationed. Peasants were forced to transport their grain to the cities and sell it at prices fixed by the government. Churches were shut down and their buildings converted into barracks or offices. Question number 6. What role did women of France of the Third Estate play in French Revolution? Answer. Women of Third Estate of France played a crucial role in the revolution. During revolutionary years, women started their own political clubs and newspapers. They set up about 60 women's clubs in different cities of France. The most famous among them was the Society of Revolutionary and Republican Women. They also demanded to enjoy the same political rights as men, that is, right to vote, to be elected to the assembly, and to hold political office. However, the women were disappointed because they were not given same political rights as enjoyed by the men of France. Question number 7. What was the impact of French Revolution in France? The impact of French Revolution in France can be summarized as: first one was the end of monarchy. It marked the end of absolute monarchy and paved way for a republic government. Second one, it laid the foundation of democratic principles. It upheld the theory of sovereignty and laid the foundation of democratic principles. That is, government decisions should be based on the consent of her citizens. Third, ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity. The slogans of liberty, equality, and fraternity became the founding milestone for a democratic nation. Fourth, Declaration of Rights and Equality. The declaration provided equality among the citizens for all public offices, freedom of speech and expression was granted, and freedom from arrest without a proven cause was implemented. Continued. Number 5, taxes to be paid by all. Taxes would be borne by all the people irrespective of their status. Number 6, religious freedom. It guaranteed the free exercise of religious worship and abolished the taxes collected by the churches. 7, reforms and new initiatives. New initiatives and reforms were carried out in education, administration, and judiciary domain. 8, important dates related to French Revolution. This is one question which you will have to remember. It shows all the dates and the important events that followed. 1774, Louis XVI becomes the King of France. 1789, Third Estate forms National Assembly, the Bastille is stormed, and the session of a State General is called. 1791, a constitution is framed to limit the powers of the monarch. 1792-93, France becomes a republic, the king is executed, and Directory rules France. 1804, Napoleon becomes Emperor of France. 1815, Napoleon was defeated at Waterloo. 1848, slavery was abolished in all French colonies. And 1946, all French women got the right to vote. Thank you.